Today we're going to look at some of the different species and varieties of liquidambar and hopefully see some really quite spectacular autumn colours. So we start with the oldest liquidambar in the garden here at Cahays. This is Liquidambar formosana Monticola Group. Monticola Group was found in China about 1910 by Ernest Wilson, and the leaves have three parts to the leaves, or three indentations to the leaves, and the fruits are just setting, as we can see here. There is a bit of a reddish tint, and if you look on the ground at some of the leaves, you'll see that some of them are showing quite nice yellow tints. But as so often in Cornwall, we don't get the cold winters and hot summers to produce wonderful autumn colour. But even so, that's a very fine old tree. It won an award of merit in the 1950s, and this has certainly been growing here for well over 100 years. Liquidambar formosana, which comes from Formosa or Taiwan, as we would call it today, sometimes has 3 lobes and sometimes has 5 lobes on the leaves, but this is the Chinese form. And before we go, let's just have a look at the bark. Very distinctive fissured bark, as you'd expect in an old tree, with sort of cracking appearing in the bark here and there on the older stems and on some of the younger trunks as well. So this is a totally different species of Liquidambar, Liquidambar orientalis, and it grows in Turkey and in Asia Minor. It's been grown in this country since 1750, and with us it's a small, squat, compact tree or large shrub. It will grow a bit bigger than you see it here, but it's not a huge tree in the way that some of the other sweet gums are. And you notice that the leaves are very different to the ones we just looked at. They've got 5 lobes, and we see such a wonderful mix of colours. We've got some sort of blackish purple, we've got reds, and we've got yellows, and as the sunlight catches it, this tree is really a standout thing today, and possibly a rather better show than the formosana Monticola Group, which we just looked at. This is a different species of liquidambar from China, Liquidambar acalycina, and this holds its leaves long into the winter, and really the best colour is on the new growth, which comes out in the spring and is a very vivid reddish purple. Sometimes you get a little bit hint of it, new growth, later in the season, but it'll be some months yet before we see any real liquidambar colours in this tree. It was an American plant hunting expedition into China in 1980 which found this species. So it's only being tried and just getting established in the UK now. And one of the problems with liquidambars is that their branches are forever breaking out in the wind, partly because they hold their leaves quite long. You can see here how the leader has been blown out at least once. But nevertheless, an interesting tree. The leaves have 5 lobes again, and deep rich red veining, and the stalks of the leaves are red in the early spring as well. So it's an interesting tree. We've not seen it flower here yet, so we don't know quite what the fruits are going to look like, or the seeds are going to look like. But anyway, something you can now find in the Burncoose catalogue, although we don't have very many for sale as yet. So now we come to a rather more widely grown species of Liquidambar, Liquidambar Styraciflua. And these trees are native to the much of America, and they have very corky bark. This is Liquidambar Styraciflua Golden Sun, and if you'd seen the leaves in the spring, they would have been golden variegated. But now as we get to autumn, the true Liquidambar colours start to come out, and you wouldn't know this was in fact a variegated plant in the spring, because today, you know, you've got blacks and reds and yellowish and pinkish, all the colours of the rainbow in a tree which actually has been coloured up for about the last 2 or 3 weeks and clearly isn't going to drop its leaves for a day or two yet. And so very nice in the spring and quite a startling display in the summer. Oh, sorry, in the autumn. The sweet gums come in many shapes and forms, and we're going to go and look at a few more of them to see the range of colours which they can put on. The leaves have 5 or 7 lobes, and Styraciflua the leaf shape is very different to the other 2 species, well, 3 species which we've looked at already. But really quite a plant. This is not a large growing or quick growing tree, but it's one which has its place in an autumn colour garden. So this is Liquidambar Styraciflua gumball, and the name, as the name implies, it's not a big tree, it's a small rounded bush. This has been planted here about 17 years and is really only about 15 feet high. And although the colours perhaps are not quite at their best yet, you can already see what a interesting range of different colours this sweet gum is producing. We don't get that much autumn colour in Cornwall, but the Liquidambars very seldom let us down. So here we've got very different autumn colours on Liquidambar Styraciflua Palo Alto, another American variety with a very distinct name. And here we've got orange and red autumn colours in profusion. But again, you can see that the branches have been snapping out as the wind has caught the tree. Nevertheless, a very fine show at the moment. And here is the last of our Liquidambar Styraciflua. This is called Red Fall, and although some of it has already fallen, you can certainly see how gloriously red the leaves have become. And again, this tree is about 17, 18 years old. Not huge, again with a bit of wind damage and branches breaking out, but that's about par for the course for Liquidambars in our sort of windy conditions. But when you look up against a nearly blue sky or just growing over sky, look at the red colours in those leaves of this sweet gum. Absolutely splendid.